Colred, how are you doing? Where on God's green earth are all my summons? I want to rip shards constantly in this game, and it seems I'm getting nothing from the game. They're obviously going to come eventually. I wanted to bring you on, and you could tell me what we have to look forward to, all the different ways you can actually get shards in this game, and how you can eventually have a really dominant full roster, even as a free-to-play like you, or a balling on a budget, or obviously a Kraken. I figure we get into it.
Yeah, the shards in Raid Shadow Legends come kind of in drips and drabs at times, so you have to take a long view of it, but there are a lot of places where you can hit. You want to make sure you hit them all, especially if you're free to play, or like you said, balling on a budget. If you're not spending that much, you really want to maximize your shards, and that's what we're going to talk about today, and I'm excited for it.
And I'm excited to have you here. We went 9 days without filming together. I was getting that itch.
Craziness.
I hit you up. I said, CR, I'm going through withdrawal symptoms. My girlfriend's dabbing my forehead as I sweat through the night. So,
you know, I know you're doing collabs like every other day. I'm watching all your collabs with Nubs and Bronk and everybody. So I don't buy that for a second, but I appreciate
you're my go-to every week after week. It's just every time I have an idea, I'm like, oh, that's a Colred idea. That's a Colred idea. And this is a Colred idea. So basically I was looking here and I was doing the math in my head. Some people in Raid, like you kind of said it before we started filming, think it's kind of a lot. But to me, especially coming from Watch of Realms, from other games, I feel like these games are about absolutely ripping summons, and I feel like I've not had that opportunity. I did the math. I've pulled 51 Ancients. I paid for 5 of them. So that's 46. We got 11 here. That means I've gotten 57 free-to-play Ancients in 24 days. To me, it does not feel like a lot at all. I think a lot of people will agree. I think Raid vets might disagree. The thing that's kind of driving me nuts is I've done those. I've done 2 Sacreds. I've done 5 Voids. I've got Prundar somewhere, who I kind of like. Where's Prundar hiding? I was just doing a regear. Prundar, and then Gorgrab, who I just made speedy. That is it. So basically, if I didn't get all these freebies from my fantastic download link in the description, top and comment, check it out, guys. 4 free heroes, Corrado, Tagoar, Uugo, and Rector. Without the free Alice after 7 days, who it's that's something with or without you, I need to make that video. It's insane that you get this with the soul. Yeah. Now that she's so good, it's freaky. And then obviously you use your Wukong code or your Loki code or your the Bannerlord guy. I can't remember his name. What's his name? Sigmund.
Sigmund Shield. Yeah.
Basically, you get all these freebies now, but without that, it's like, what have I pulled? You know, I would have built a War Maiden. I probably would have built maybe a Diabolus now or something like that. Maybe a Spirit Host. But I got Gorgrab. I got my Armiger. You know, I got Banshee from a mystery. So I'm just thinking, when does it start happening for us? Maybe enlighten us. I want you to give us hope. You really are hope eternal on this channel, my friends. So shine that beacon.
Well, I'm going to try. One thing that you should know, and maybe you remember this from back in the day, but the old joke is that the game is called Save Shadow Legends, right? Yeah. The idea is that you need to be saving up your resources and using them at particular times. So we do have 4 types of, actually we have 5 types of shards now. We used to have 4. We now have 5 types of shards. So we have the mystery shards. You get those from campaign. You get those all the time. But obviously the big hit on that is a rare. Every once in a while, like you could get your apothecary through a mystery shard or something like that. So there's a reason for these shards. Plus, we use these, pulls for fodder, right? This is where our chickens come from. But you basically get those from campaign. So the 4 that really matter are the ancient shards, the void shards, the primal shards, and the sacred shards. You want to take it from the bottom to the top, or do you want to start with the sacred shards?
I think we should start with the ancients, because I think that's the itch I most want scratch. It's like, I don't need tons of gifts, but I just want to press the button and see the cards flip, and I'm just not getting to do it as much as I want. I get it, save Shadow Legends, wait Shadow Legends, but I'm telling you, once you've seen the greener pastures of 50, 100, 200 summons a week, free to play, depending on how you're saving in other games, to this, I think we need something, just maybe a reality check, but also some stuff to look forward to. Because obviously, I'm just going to try Nightmare Clan Boss for the first time today. Probably going to fail, but I was able to 2-key Brutal because I got a good affinity. So I was like, let's try it out. I know that's where the good stuff's going to eventually come from, but still, it hurts early on. So maybe quick hits. Give us a little picture of what's to come and what we maybe can get excited about.
Yeah, so for Ancient Shards, a couple of things that you want to know is every month you have a reset on Ancient Shards that you can get from the marketplace. So you can get 5 from the marketplace each month, and then you can get 5 from each dungeon in the game, each like gear dropping dungeon or potion keep. Okay. So the 4 classic dungeons, Dragon Dungeon, like Ice Golems, and then the potion keeps as well. They all drop, and you can get 5 ancient shards per dungeon per
Really?
month. Yeah, but they drop at a 0.5% chance. Okay. So the thousands of energy that you would need to actually collect all of them is impossible, but you may pick up, 10 or 15 a month just from doing your dungeon stuff.
All right, so you're saying a half of a percent, so that's 1 in 200. So on average, it'd be 1,000 runs, but you're not going to hit the average on each. So it'd probably in some would be 2,000 runs. Yeah, so it's not going to happen. But that's cool. I didn't know that. That's something.
That is something. So, and then in addition to that, you obviously have things like login rewards. We actually get ancient shards fairly frequently as rewards for tournaments. If you go to the tournaments right now, or you can check the login rewards. They're good tournaments. So often like the top 5 or 4, winners will have an ancient shard as a reward. Yeah, there you go. So
I'm queued up for one now if we hold.
And this is something you want to keep an eye on, especially if you have an opportunity to, just put a little bit more energy as a tournament dies, like the last few hours. You're like, oh, I can go and grab this, potential shard. And also in the regular like reward column, every once in a while there will be an ancient shard.
Oh, like
These
on the side.
Not really, yeah. These are not really predictable. You have to keep an eye out for them, but you do want to watch them because you get the most ancient shards in this game by far, like way more than you'll get of any other shard type. And for a new player or a new account, whether you're free to play or a spender, this is the shard that you're really going to be pulling en masse. So this is where a lot of your great epics are going to come from. This is where, your first few legendaries are likely to come from, because you just don't get that many sacred shards early on in the game.
No, okay. I mean, that's solid. There's some are reliable, some are not. Do you have a sense, maybe like if you've been playing for 6 months or a year, like your Hell Hades free to play challenge account, where you've been 2 months now, maybe or 1.5 months. Can you imagine forecast a month or two from now on that account how much you'd expect? Do you have a sense of that?
Yeah, the nice thing about ancient shards is that because you can also get them from the lower levels of Clan Boss, you actually get access to ancient shards in decent numbers for raid. Decent numbers right from the get-go, as long as you're consistently doing Demon Lord Clan Boss. So if you look at like the chests there, like you have access to ancient shards from every chest, basically all the way up. So the more chests you're doing, and remember, if your clan is clearing a particular difficulty and you get that top chest, you're getting it twice, right? You get double chests. So that's important. I would say on average, at this point, I'm probably pulling down somewhere around like 10 to 14 or 15 a week.
Okay. That's not awful.
It's not too bad. So if you're pulling just on the 2 times ancient shard events, when they come around every 6 weeks, you should have somewhere in the vicinity of like 60 to 80, maybe even a little bit more if you've been really active in the dungeons.
It's certainly something, but if you don't have good luck on the 2x, I guess over time it will equalize. But with 200 pity, right? It's like, all right, every 12 weeks, every nearly 3 months to get that legendary.
Weeks, yeah.
And then it's, when it's that former fusion stinker, OG legacy fusion stinker you pull, it's not too great. But hey, it's something. How about our voids? Okay,
so the voids for me are the most precious shards that are in the game, and these primarily come from Clan Boss. All of the shards come from Clan Boss, and when we're talking about void shards and sacred shards, these 2 primarily come from Clan Boss. I think you need to get to the 3rd difficulty. I think it's hard, where if you go to the top chest on hard.
Oh, there we go, second to top.
Oh, the night chest. Okay, so the night chest, that's the first place where you can get
that's why I want to check, because I did get a void shard from a normal chest a week or 2 ago. So that surprised me. So I guess
so there must be night chest there.
Yeah, top chest on normal.
So one of the things that you'll notice about the chests for Clan Boss is that the chests have names. So the night chest is the first chest that drops, but the night chest can drop from multiple difficulties.
Yeah.
So it's the top chest for normal. It's the 3rd chest for, hard.
First
it might
chest
be the lowest chest for brutal or so.
Yeah, it's the lowest chest. Exactly, correct. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, that's the chest that you need to get get your void shards. Again, there are a few other places. The login, the monthly kind of calendar, you get your daily login, and occasionally you'll pick up a void shard there, or again, maybe from a tournament reward or something. But primarily when it comes to sacred shards and void shards, it has to be Clan Boss. The goal, ultimately, the end goal would be to do a 1 key of Ultra Nightmare, brutal, and hard, and do 4 bosses and get 8 chests a day. That's unlikely. It's not that you can't do it. It's just that everybody messes up a little bit. You know, it's like, so for me personally, I typically do the top 3 bosses. I'll do Ultra Nightmare, Nightmare, and Brutal. And if I get extra keys from like CVC or something, I'll throw those into, you know, hard and normal. And what I'm finding is for Sacred Shards, I usually pull down somewhere around 11 to 13 Sacred Shards per month.
Wow.
And then
this is on your main, very developed.
This is on my main account. Yeah. And then on Void Shards, I pull down somewhere around 6 to 7 per week.
You do, yeah. It's going to take a while, but you do, once you're at that real efficiency, you settle in. I guess this isn't the point of the video, but a little bit is the point of the video. There's a reason Clan Boss is the priority from the get-go. Right. Like, there's a reason this Demon Lord is the guy, because this is the only, obviously there's going to be RNG elements, but this is the only consistent, reliable way to get, especially the higher quality stuff in any kind of volume, right?
Yeah, and like I said, for free-to-play player or a newer player, you're really more focused on ancient shards because you're not yet at the clan boss levels where you're pulling down a lot of sacreds and a lot of voids. You'll get some voids, but not that many sacreds. But there are early game one-time rewards that you want to be aware of, right? Because you can go and get yourself a few sacreds and a few voids that way. So yeah, you're looking at the challenges, and there are a few shards here. If you keep pushing up, you will get through, I don't know.
I actually cleared it all. It disappeared. You have the dungeon one. Yeah. They give you a lot of shards. I did just finish it.
Yeah.
I needed it's so bizarre. It's like you need to clear stage 13 of each of the keeps on auto. But I was on like between 15 and 20 on all of them. So I didn't realize for a whole cycle that I had to wait and go redo 13. That's a boring little tangent. But yeah, that's kind of why I did want to bring you on, just to bring it home. Because I think we'll have to talk about primals at the very end. And we did discuss the sacreds, and I really like those estimates. I think that's kind of what I was hoping with you. It's because you got like that min-max free to play way down the road. It's going to take people a while to get there, but people know what to look forward to. But yeah, I was kind of looking at it, and I'm like, I paid for the 5. We got 62, so it's 57. But I bet you a lot of those were my first clearance of XYZ in the normal campaign, brutal campaign, all that kind of stuff, the little challenge things. So it's cool to get those estimates. I guess what you're saying, let me ask you, this is a slight swerve from what I'd planned, and then let's wrap up with primals. I don't want to take too much of your time, but essentially, what's like the min-max? I get it at the end, right? And it actually seems like it's a lot smoother than I remember it, because you can do the auto keys, because once you're one keying all that stuff, you can just set that alarm and click it, something like that. I would assume a lot of people do. Yeah, where for me, it was like my Ultra Nightmare team took a million years. I don't remember how long, but it was forever. It was the full 50 turns, right? When you're not there, doing your beautiful one key, you're somewhere like me where I 2-keyed brutal today. And then now actually I'm deciding, what am I going to do? I've got one more key in the mailbox, and then I have another one coming in an hour. How do you make that assessment? Are you going for sheer volume, or are you going for the names, these nice higher quality chests over everything?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And it's a little bit different depending on how early you are. But what I would say is, once you get to brutal and above, you would use all 4 keys to max out the chest if you could.
So, okay, so to make that plain as day. So you're saying if you could go 1, 1, 1, 1, no. All 4 on brutal if you have to.
All 4 on brutal to get the top chest in brutal. The same for nightmare, the same for ultra nightmare.
Good to know.
Because it's especially important for nightmare and ultra nightmare, because those are the only places, those 2 top chests are the only places where you can get sacred shards.
I did just notice that. So when you were talking about the voids, people might have saw me clicking in the background. I was trying to do a little research while you were going, being like, so when do the sacred start? Because the voids really do start as early as that top chest in normal, which is the second easiest. And then that becomes the first chest in brutal. And yeah, even in ultra nightmare, you need to get all the way. The transcendence, the only one. That's kind of crazy, huh?
Right. Yeah, you have to hit the top chest. So for instance, here's a question, maybe a better question is, let's say you can get the top chest in nightmare and you can get the third chest in ultra nightmare. Which one is better to get? And the answer is the top chest in nightmare.
Because of the sacred opportunity.
Because of the sacred shard, yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
So really, until you can max out for nightmare, or you can max out for ultra nightmare, you don't bother. You go,
Here's a hypothetical. Okay, this is a little farther out, but okay, you can just not get the 4 key on nightmare. So you just can't get the ultimate chest. You're putting up whatever it is, 9 mil a key, right? Yeah. So you're at 36. Then do you do 3 and then you toss a 1 on brutal? Is it the same kind of idea?
Well, then you start looking at the chest names. So, like, if you look at the top brutal, that's Grandmaster, right? So that takes 22 million, and then the third one is Grandmaster. So if you're getting
4
that,
Grandmasters,
it's the
right?
same chest. Yeah. So the question is, are you getting the highest combination of?
I get it. Yeah. Okay. So you're like, let me get the highest name I can. But then there is the consideration if you can pop that Grandmaster with 1 key on brutal. And then for Nightmare, you could get the Master for 3. It's still better than getting, if you can't get past the 26 with 4, right?
But can you get the Master from hard?
Oh, good point. I get it. No, you can't. Okay, but that's what you need to start. That's what you got to start. Right. I get it. Yeah. Okay, really good. Okay, got a little abstract, but I do like that. So TLDR, guys, please prioritize the clan boss. And actually, I'm gonna have a fun question for you in the last second. You don't know it's coming, but let's do 1 minute tops on primal, because at least let me tell you my 10-second spiel. These are like you're gonna get like almost none ever if you don't buy them, right?
Yeah, you can farm them. There are a lot of places to get these from now. There weren't originally, but they're still very rare. They're the most rare shard in the game. They're more rare than sacred shards, so it's hard to get them unless you're really focused on it.
Yeah. Okay, but so I'm thinking these are like the gravy. It's like when they come, try to pick them up if you can. Maybe don't break your neck doing it. They'll come when they come. Maybe you'll get your mythical. Just let it happen.
Yeah, to a certain extent, there's that. But we shouldn't forget remnant summons. Yeah. So if you look over on the right hand column.
Okay.
No. There. So this is another way to get mythicals. And you get these in Centranos.
Oh, okay.
You can see it. It's a 2.5% chance to get a mythical, as opposed to a 0.5% from the primal shard. So you want to actually get remnant summons, and you want to get primal shards as much as possible. So for primal shards, you get the primal shards from 2 places mostly. One is Hydra Clash. So if you finish in the top 3 places in Hydra Clash, your clan does, and you qualify for a chest, you will get some of these primal quartz, and you need 100 primal quartz to get a primal shard.
Yeah.
So that's the first location. The second one is Live Arena. If you win 35 battles, you get a chest from Live Arena, and you can get primal quartz from that as well.
Gotcha.
And those are really the only 2 places you can farm it consistently. So Hydra Clash is on a weekly timer. And then, for Live Arena, you want to be getting in there every day, get up to your 35 wins and get that chest. And there's other rewards in the chest as well, so it's worth it. Plus you can get the area bonuses, but some people don't like PvP. So if you don't like PvP,
however, if you like pulling primals, you should do at least that bare minimum to set yourself up. Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the final one, this is the shard pool summons, right? These are called the summoning crystals. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Prism crystals, right.
Yeah, prism crystals. So those are mostly pay to win, but you can get them from Sand Devil is what I've seen so far.
Yeah, generally every time they have a Prism Shard event, they give us 1 tournament where you can actually get a pull from. Sometimes they give us 2, but you always get at least 1, and that's usually Sand Devil's Necropolis, and you have to go all the way to like 6,000 points to get it.
Okay.
But, it's an incentive to get in there, yeah.
Fair enough. All right, I think we kind of covered all our bases, so it's not nothing. It's not a lot. Focus on your clan boss. Try to be positive. And I will say that what gave me the idea is I just started my clan. This actually was the clan I made like 5 years or 4 years ago. But I wanted to transfer ownership, or it's an old clan I didn't use, but it was on my old account had it. So I went onto that account and it blew my mind how many legendaries I had, like not fusions, just like in 2 years of play. So it obviously happens. I wanted you to give me hope. You gave me hope. I hope you gave the viewers hope. I hope so. I have a surprise bomb to drop on you. I'm sitting on 5 5-star fodders. I've been waffling between Banshee and Sun Wukong. I feel like Sun Wukong helps me absolutely everywhere but clan boss, and Banshee only helps me in clan boss. But I feel like you sold me, whether you meant to or not, on Banshee. Do you agree with that?
On Banshee? Yeah, if you're focused on that, you think that's going to help your team the most, then I think clan boss is always good. I don't know where your keys are though. So what's your currently your best key?
I can 2-key brutal if it's spirit.
And who are you pulling out of the team to replace?
She's already in. Oh, she's already in, but she dies real fast.
Oh, then definitely. Then absolutely 6-star. Yeah, then it's no, that's a no-brainer.
Sweet. Absolutely. Okay. I get anxious because it's like I know I'm gonna outgrow her, but I might not outgrow her for many months. It depends how the game goes. So I'm sold. I want to do a little outro.
I have one last tip. Oh, yeah, I do. Before we get there, if you go to the shop, I want to just shout this out. Some content creators think this is a bad buy. I think it's a good buy. If you go to the gem shop and you scroll over, you'll see the big shard pack. You can get 11 ancient shards for 900 gems. This is something not to use a lot. You don't want to use this really frequently. This is not something where you want to like pour all your gems into it. But be aware that this pack exists, because if there's a 2x event, or you're doing a summon rush or a champion chase for a fusion event, and you're a little bit shy on the shards, but you have been saving your gems, you can always go in here. And I actually think it's a pretty good, like buy from time to time. When it can get really good value, this is a place to go as well to get some extra shards.
I like that shout out. And the more I think about it, that must have been how I had so many characters on my free-to-play account, because I must have been doing that a lot. I've been sitting on my gems for a minute because there's nothing that's been jumping out to me. I do not want to buy stamina until I'm at the cap. So cool. I was thinking, thank you for coming on. Any final thoughts while I make good on what I said? Take your suggestion and 5-star Banshee, or 6-star, excuse me.
I guess my only real thought is be patient. Sometimes you get really lucky with one shard and it can change your account. And sometimes it may take months of grinding, but it does happen eventually. Everybody goes through cold streaks. Everybody goes through hot streaks. And if you start off in a cold streak, it can feel bad, but it will heat up eventually. And when it does, it'll feel really good.
Yeah, and I got to say, my life feels pretty good right now because I'm actually on a hot coal red streak. So it's great to have you on for the third or fourth week in a row. It came to me, I cringed, and I was like, I'm still going to say it.
It kind of hurt.
Well, that's a great way to end the video then, on pain. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming, Coal Red. I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, if you want to get the best start and not have to stress out about how to get these shards, use that link in the description and the top pinned comment. Hit that clan boss. Check out Coal Red's channel. We'll have his links below as well. Share with your mother, and we'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.